Hello, my name is Kaylee Schnack, and I'm here to talk about Technology Infrastructure Audit, TIA, and doing an audit for my district, USD 407. When given the provided research for this module, we talked a lot about what a good audit looks like, what are some questions you should be asking, why you should be doing audits, and so I'm going to dig into that today. One of the quotes that I found from the Hanover research said that a school improvement plan is a roadmap that sets out changes a school needs to make to improve the level of student achievement and shows how and when these changes will be made. I really like the part where they said about it being a roadmap. And that's literally what this audit is about. It's finding where you are, dividing a plan with a committee and figuring out where you're going to go to better improve learning for all the students within your school district. So today our process is we're going to design a committee. That's step one. Then we're going to design a technology infrastructure audit. Then we're going to examine my current structure within my district of Russell County. Then we're going to examine the improvements that might need to be made based on the research that I have found. So just a little bit of background about my school district. We are USD 407. We have a central office. We have 4 schools: Simpson Elementary, which is pre-K till 1st grade; Beekerdike Elementary, which is 2nd to 5th grade; Russell Middle School, which is 6 to 8; and Russell High School, which is 9 to 12. When developing a committee, it's important that you have stakeholders in all different parts of the district. So I think it's really important that we have an administrative team, of course, your superintendent. I put all the principals because I think it's important that all principals know what's going on within our school district. We are a smaller district compared to others, but it's important that everybody's on the same page. I did put the technology director. He is kind of the head honcho that runs all of the tech stuff, so it's important that he's on the committee because he knows exactly what's going on, what we're going to need, and how we're going to get where we need to go, and telling us if it's doable and how the funding and like funding wise and can we actually do those types of things. Then we have the tech slash teacher team. So at my school, we each have a technology person who's actually it's just a supplemental and who's actually a certified staff member. So I think it's important that they come as well because they can be knowledgeable and support all the buildings. And so we have one for each school within our district. Then I think it's important that we include students because students are the ones that are going to be utilizing or basically getting the outcome of the technology. So I included 5 different students for that. I think it's very important that when we're making decisions, we're transparent with not only the buildings and who are in our buildings and parents, but also the community members. So having at least one community stakeholder, a BOE member, and then I think it's important to have parents represent. I know that we have some parents that have students in all schools throughout our district, and there might just be one parent within one school. So it's important to try to get as many different voices and ideas out there. Another part that I found from Hanover research that I thought was really important was that districts should be initiating school improvement planning with a comprehensive needs assessment in order to systematically determine heightened areas. So this isn't we're going to do this because we need to improve our technology. We're doing this because we do have technology, but we need to see how well it's working and what we can do to better improve that plan. So this leads to me, what can we improve on? These are just some of the questions that I pulled from one of our it was the Microsoft checklist. I did forget to cite that, but I will go back and cite that. But it was just talking about, what is your vision? What's your goal? How many devices are you going to have? What's the future plan look like? Do you have resources available? We're a rural community, so we have, bandwidth and things like that, access for students in town, but it's a real struggle, if we have the farmers or the country outliers, do they have reliable internet? What's the physical infrastructure look like? If we need to redo all of our wiring of Wi-Fi, then we need to make sure that we are actually compatible and can do that. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that we have already done that part. We know what our physical infrastructure looks like because we did have to rewire, and it was a complete mess, but it took a summer, and it was just, putting all these things back together. Talking about security risk, who's going to manage that? How's the funding? Who's going to pay for this? What can you do to pay for this? Who's going to maintain devices? How is the school going to ensure that there's responsibility of devices? Are the devices going to be filtered? And what's the policy? Things happen with children. Who's going to, could take that lost or damaged device or make it better? Especially because we don't want to put families at the burden of you have to, replace a $250 screen when your kid dropped it, even though it was in a case. So those are just some things to get the community to think and start planning and looking at what we can do. So one of the big things to look right now is like our internet service and what we're doing. We just did fiber internet through our district 2 summers ago. It was kind of a mess. We had some internet that would work through some parts of the school and then not through the other. So it was time to upgrade our servers. We also upgraded Wi-Fi hotspots within the building, and we took funds from our e-writing funding to do that. We also want to make sure that we have transitions for sustainable broadband connectivity for schools in the E-rate program. And that was from one of our articles that we talked about. You need to make sure that you can fund it before you even try to do it. And then we talked about evaluating the bandwidth within the district. So checking the speed, connectivity, and new technology. Another important part that I found from our research was that you need to consider how high is speed broadband and new devices that will enable the school to take advantages of digital learning content resources. So, like, are you going to have a teacher just showing videos? Are you going to have a remote class? Are you going to have a video making class? All of that takes more Wi-Fi, and you need to make sure that you have it at a high speed. And so it's important that you analyze that. I would personally say yearly because each year is different based on like the needs of the student and what you're trying to accomplish. Another big challenge within the internet could be the rule challenges. And like I said before, finding the funding and having the outside school resources. During COVID, we did hotspots. We kind of faded away from that because everybody's back in school. But again, those country kids, are they getting, the same opportunities as kids that are inside the city? And then how much internet is needed? Schools and districts should consider setting aspirational connectivity target bandwidth recommendations. So even though you think you got it, you might want to go a little higher. Devices. We recently updated devices for all of our students and teachers. So we're 1-to-1, pre-K through 12. 6 through 12, they have iPads. Pre-K through 5, we have mini iPads. We have faded out most of our outdated devices as you could no longer update them. They were, dropping signal and service. I think it's also important that our substitutes get iPads for the day, and our district has made that happen so that way they can be in talk with email, support students with Google Classroom, because I know our upper level grades do a lot with Google Classroom still. Selecting devices, they talked about in our research, making sure that you're testing devices before making a commitment, comparing the cost of total ownership, and also making sure that you're having a variety of stakeholders, hence why we have the committee on device selection. So tablets, are we going to just specifically have them all working on tablets? Or are we going to have them working on laptops? What is the end result, and why are we using these devices, and how are we best going to reach our goal? Looking at privacy and filters, so required by law, and we have to have filters and privacy protections because we're working with minors. We also have the E-rate funding, and that just says that we're going to, again, protect our students and provide the filters so that way, there's you're not getting spam, virus, malware, all of those types of things, and making sure that kids are searching things appropriately along with staff, making sure that we're providing confidentiality along with email, especially. One of the tech guys that freelances for us had talked about a school district that actually had got encrypted with Russian intelligence, and so they are saying like they had to go through the whole thing through KBI as the FBI to try to get all of that information back. So I'm pretty sure that district will be doing an audit, if they haven't already. But those are some of the things I would have never thought that would have been a problem, but it's a huge problem. So definitely making sure that we have device management, responsible use, digital citizenship. So making sure that teachers and staff are talking to students about how to stay safe on the internet and looking at certain things, safeguarding student privacy, and managing lost or stolen devices. Some of the acts I have included FERPA, COPA, IDEA, PPRA, and HIPAA as far as protecting students. These are federal laws that we have to make sure that we are doing within our district. The purpose of a technology audit is not to play the gotcha with staff. An audit takes the guesswork out of knowing how and where to invest resources. A very detailed report you will receive after an audit will include recommendations on what your district should take for the future. I think it's important that we tell staff that we're not here to get you. We're not here to see how many different devices you have on our internet source. What we're here for is to make sure that those devices are A, protected, B, are supporting the learning that's going on, and C, that you are making the, supportive and right choice when being on those devices. Is it impactful? So again, talking about technology and money. Okay, looking at our inventory, what have we purchased? I just said we're 1-to-1 iPad. Do we have Promethean boards? Do we have Apple TVs? Do we have MacBooks? Do we have MacBook Air Pros? All those types of things. And we do have some of those. I don't know all of the things that we have, but then our tech person is going to be in charge of making sure that we keep track of what we purchased. If you're using those things that are purchased. So let's say that we bought a Promethean board. I hope that it's not sitting in the closet and that it's in a classroom and it's actually making a bit of difference in education and it's not just collecting dust. iPads, are we using the iPads correctly? Are we doing what's best, to support kids and not just having them play games, those types of things, or having it just be a babysitter? Student engagement, is it engaging students? If it's not engaging students, then why are we doing it? Our job is to educate students. Our job is not for the technology to, again, babysit them, and making sure that it's impactful. Having digital citizenship taught within the school district can make a huge difference within students in their learning, and making sure that they're safe, but also allowing them to explore and find out new and amazing things that our world has to offer, and that what they can design with technology and coding and STEMming and all of those types of things. Another quote I had found that I totally love is, you do not want to be paying for something that kids are not engaged with. The audit gives a better grasp on the tools that we're paying for, how much we're being used, and how many unique users we're logging into them. I think this is a big thing with COVID. We just kind of threw lots of different things at kids and hope that they are using it. We never really talked about, are they really on it? Is that being impactful for them? So some things to think about. Adjustments within security, making sure that we have things clear and concise, and that we have people that are tracking things. So our documentation yearly, making sure that we're signing the acceptable user policy, the responsible user policy, and having that on file, making sure that we're being proactive and not reactive with our security, because like I said, if Russia gets a hold of our information, we are not going to be able to do a whole lot, because they have everything on us and they'll, expect a ransom and all that type of stuff. So being smart with security. As far as what USD 407 can improve, we can improve our social media and school website, just making sure that we're up to date and we're doing everything that we're supposed to. Having a secure network, making sure that we are doing security assessments, making sure that we're scanning and protecting emails from spam, virus, worms, malicious content, securing information, and control what we can that is installed within the network. I know that our tech guys have worked their booty off on trying to do those types of things for us, and it's very appreciative as a teacher to know that not only am I safe, but I'm also to teach my students in a safe environment that will support them. As far as everything else, these are my resources. And then this is my information, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.